Hey guys, got my caffeine here ready to go. It's a gorgeous day outside. So we're going to talk about 4-bend saddles today. And it's just like taking a box offset to another level, all right? Now, we're going to have 4 marks on our conduit. Actually 5, but we're just going to use 4 of them, okay? I sent the PowerPoint out, and that PowerPoint has all your numbers on there for your offset angle, you know, like 10 by 10 or 30 by 30 or 45 by 45, multiplier, and then shrink. Okay, so you got it there, you can print it off, but it's on the handle of your bender too, so you got it with you. Now, just like before, we're going to measure our distance to our obstruction first. Okay? Then we got to measure how high it is. So that's really easy. You do that for every offset. Measure how far it is from your known distance. You're either coming off the end of a stick of conduit or down a wall and out or off of a conduit or something, and it's a known distance. So you're going to measure for that known distance. Here it's from the wall to the box. Then the second measurement, we're going to measure the height of the box. We got to know how high we got to get over this obstruction. So we're going to do just like we did the other day. We're going to have this box 28 inches, okay? So 28 inches. Now, if you remember, we measured the height 4 inches, okay? So our first measurement is going to be 28. Now, there's 28. I'm not going to mark this all the way around, but remember what we did the other day? First 2 bends of a 4-bend saddle, just like an offset. Make an offset go up, an offset come off. But when we bend it, this bend, the knee of it, backs off. So to get this knee right up on the box, we have to add shrink. So our shrink for a 30-degree bend is 1/4 inch back for every inch of rise. So we have 4 inches of rise here times 1/4 inch equals an inch. So we're going to add 1 inch to that 28. That's going to bring us to 29 inches. Now, on the 29-inch mark for me, I'm going to mark it all the way around, okay? And I'm going to name that. I'm going to name that A mark. I'll show you here in a little bit why. Now, our multiplier for a 30 is 2, right? So 2 times our inches of rise, or how tall the obstruction is. So 2 4s is 8. Now, we added our shrink. Forget about shrink. Now, we're going to back up, and we're going to put another mark at the 8-inch mark, and we're going to mark it all the way around. Roll your pipe around. Because as we turn our pipe, we want to be able to see the mark. Do this with a pencil or whatever. I'm doing it with this so that you can see. I don't use a marker like this on the job. We're going to name that mark B, okay? Now, we need 4 marks. Our third mark is going to be C, and it's real easy. We measure how wide our obstruction is. This here is 12.5 inches wide. 12.5 inches wide. Windy out here, guys. Put my papers up. So 12.5 inches off of A mark, okay? I'm setting this up. A mark is right here. So B mark is going to be the other side of the obstruction, 12.5 inches. Now on 12.5 inches there, make that mark all the way around, and make that C, okay? Now, we're going to come off this side with two 30-degree bends just like we're going up. You wouldn't have to. I could come off this with two 15-degree bends or two 10-degree bends. It'd have a longer slope, and sometimes you have to do that. So it doesn't matter what degree bends on one side versus the other side. But if you pick a 15, it's got to be a 15 and a 15, because a plus 15 and minus 15 equals 0. Plus 45 minus 45 equals 0. So we're on this plane, and we want to go from this plane to this plane. We got to go plus 15 minus 15. Plus 45 minus 45. Plus 30 minus 30. Okay? So we got our C mark. We're going to come off of it with a 30-degree bend. We're 4 inches high. It's just like here, 8 inches apart, or just like here, 8 inches apart. So I'm coming down here, and I'm putting an 8-inch mark right here, and that's going to be our D, okay? All right, A, B, C, and D. Now this is very important. I moved my box a little bit. A, B, C, D. Here's where what's on top of the box. I want you to take your marker, and between A and C, I want you to color it. I don't care what color you got, but I want you to color all that in. This is a great way to learn this, and it's a great way to keep from getting confused. Because we got to decide how we're going to put our bender on here. Okay. Now, I got all that colored in. I've used this trick a lot. It works great. Trust me. Now, I'm going to move this out. Between my two fingers is where the box is. All this is colored in. I'm getting ready to show you why. If you put your bender on your conduit wrong and bend it wrong, it's a scrap piece of pipe. We got to have a way to know how to put our bender on. When we put our bender in our conduit, we're always going to have our hook facing our obstruction. Okay? So this is A, B, C, D. So for A bend, if our hook, this is the hook right here, if it faces our obstruction, it's going to face what's colored in right here. See? Now, if we put it on backwards to where our hook is facing out, our radius of our bender is going to make that space that we colored in, it's going to put a bend in it, or a radius. We can't put a bend in it because it's got to lay flat on that box. So what we have colored in right here can never have a bend in it. If we put this bender on like this, and this is the colored in part, it ain't gonna work. But if we turn it around 180 like this, okay, now here's where our colored in part starts at our arrow. When we make a bend, we're outside of what lays flat on the box. So that's why I want this colored in between the A mark and C mark. A mark, B mark, C mark, D mark. So what's colored in is what has to lay flat on the box. Okay, now I'm going to start bending this, and I'm going to start with the A mark. We're going to put 30-degree bends in it. First bend's pretty easy. We don't have to line up anything but the arrow. Okay, put your foot in front of the bender Bend it down to almost 30. Now, I'm going to turn it over, and what I'm going to do is take my level, make sure which one's the 30, mine's the farthest bubble. Make sure your level's flat on the conduit. Go up. I've got just a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, this is important. It's all important, isn't it, guys? Turn it over. Do not take your bender out. Just slide it back to B. Turn it over 180. That's all you got to do. Don't take your bender off. You'll never go wrong. Now, line up your marks. Now, you got to line up your bends with your radius and your bender. You got to take your handle, then take your conduit, line it up so you don't have a dog leg, double check your arrow, and then put your foot in front of the bender handle and bend it. Now, hold it, turn it over. I've got it bent enough that I can lay it on the floor and put my level on it. And what's plus 30 and minus 30? 0. So I'm laying it flat. Just a hair more. There we go. Should be pretty doggone close. Now, levels don't lie. But you've got the weight of the conduit on the end there that's pulling down on it, so you have to take that into consideration. Now, the first two bends, we had our hook facing this way on this side of the obstruction. Now, we're going to turn around on the other side. We're going to face the obstruction. We're going to turn our bender around, and our hook is still going to be toward what we got colored in. It's the top of our box. And we're going to bend C, then back up and bend D. Now C, this gets to be more critical because we got to line it up, put a mark on the arrow, okay? Put our mark on the arrow. And then we have to put our pull eye on. I got a little dog leg in this one, not bad, just a little one. Okay, now we're going to put another 30 in it. And I'm going to stop before I get to a 30. Turn it over. Now I'm going to put that right there and watch my 30 bubble. Perfect. Now, don't take your bender off the pipe. Slide it back, go to D mark, turn it over 180, just like before. Now line it up. Looks pretty good. Now, foot in front of the bender, get close, lay your chest into it, and look down through there. Now, this time here, you don't have to use a level. Get it close, hold it, turn it over. Now, we're really close on the floor, but it's humped up. If I push down and pull on the bender, it's going to be a nice crisp bend, and I'm going to pull on it until it lays flat. Okay, that's pretty close. Pretty close. Now, get our workbench back over here. That sign's seen better days. Now, we're going to check for dog legs. Okay? I got a couple in there. Not too bad, not too bad. Now, you can just pull up like that. That's good. Down here, it's just got a little one, just a little one. Okay, a little more on this. That's money. Take it to the bank on that one. Okay. Now, we don't have a dog leg, but we got to check our height. We're going to put this on 28 inches. We're going to see how close we got. All right. Now, this right here is cocked up and this is off the box a little bit. This here looks good. If I put a little more bend in this, that's going to pull this down right on top of that box, because I can tell it right on top of that box. So I need to put a little more, because this knee needs to touch here. So let me put it in this way. I got an 8-foot ceiling here, guys, so all I'm doing is just about breathing on it, because this stuff feels like butter. That is money. That is money, okay? Okay? When you got something that long, it's going to be you just got to split the difference. But for eyeballing and talking at the same time, it's pretty doggone good for me. Okay, now. Okay, there you go. That, see, this mark lines up right here. This mark lines up right here. Now, this is down. That's right against the box. This is right against it. That's right against it. That's a great 4-bend saddle. I lucked out. I need to get off this video and go buy a lottery ticket, okay? Because normally, when I just do them a couple of times a year, I have to wall them around a little more than you saw here. But 4-bend saddles, just 2 offsets. It's very important. Make your A bend first, or make your A mark first from your obstruction to your box. Add your shrink and forget about shrink. Then take how tall your obstruction is, times 2. Then you go from your A mark to your B mark and mark it. Then the third mark is from A to C. That's the width of your obstruction. Right here is the width of the box. Now, on this side here, you do have shrink. It's going to suck the end of that pipe back this way 1 inch, because it's this box 4 inches high times a quarter, 1 inch, just like this side. But we don't care on that end, because we're coming from this wall. On that end, we're either going to saw the pipe off or we're going to add another stick of pipe to it. So it doesn't matter about the shrink, because we're running it that way. But it does shrink, but we don't care. Then make sure you color this in between the A and C mark. That's the best way to do it, to get used to it. Because invariably, if you don't, you're going to put it in your bender backwards, put a radius here. And see, if we put this bender in here and bent the first bend here instead of here, it's wrong. It ain't going to fit. Because we have moved at the width of this bender, the radius on our bend. So, there you have it, 4-bend saddle. Send me questions. I want to see your work. Find something 4, 6, 7 inches high. Bend me a 4-bend saddle. I want to see pictures where this is level, where this is level, where this is down against your obstruction. And then you're being good about sending me pictures of your work. I see some really good work out there. I'm proud of you guys. I know this is hard off videos. If there's anything I can improve on these, shoot me an email. If I'm going too fast, if I gloss over something, please, it's all about you guys learning the skill set. I will make any adjustments I need to make for y'all, okay? So, make sure you got dog leg out of it, okay? And make sure your marks line up like this one did, okay? When we go out to 28 inches, here's my A mark, here's my C mark. Right dead nuts on the side of that box, okay? So if you can get this worked out, we got one more bend, it's a 3-bend saddle, and then we're gonna put box offset, 9-degree stub, 4-bend saddle, and 3-bend saddle all on one piece of conduit, okay? So, you guys take care. I miss having y'all in class. Send me any questions, and we'll talk soon.